Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner, Albert Kim. And Albert, we talk about it. The King is here every year. Schools, there's a hustle, a bustle. The flag girls are practicing. You can hear the band down on the other end. Football players are having their, two-a-days or whatever they call them nowadays. The bottom line is we got games already.
Yeah, and that's what the kids look forward to. They go through everything else, and then the town really looks forward to it because on game night they'll see everything that George just mentioned, and then we get a chance to start talking about them. We'll start with Anthony Perry and Boston Mullinex from West Branch, two record holders after the very first game, a 27-7 win over Canfield. Perry kicked a 48-yard field goal. Every college is looking for kickers. If he can consistently do that, he'll get some money to go to school, no question about it. And Boston Mullinex broke a record with 45 rushing touchdowns and 48 total touchdowns to break previously held by Brendan Wells. Congratulations to both those young men. Also, we want to congratulate teams that have made a great start despite trailing 18-6. And that is a win that might carry them through the season. Borman outscored Kenston 13-0 to close out a 19-18 victory. Vince Budo scored the go-in touchdown for the Spartans. George, I think there's certain momentum games that that carry you through.
Yeah.
1 point,
NCAA always
2 points.
NCAA tournament. Look, they were they should have won that. I tell you one thing, you got to straighten that extra point thing out right now.
Yeah.
If you're Kenston, you're sick. Because I imagine if you missed the first one, tells me you either don't trust your kicker or don't have one. Now you're chasing it all night.
Yeah, and don't chase. George and I have that written down in our football notes.
We don't chase.
Until you have to score two, keep kicking the ball. Unless, but this is high school, you don't have a kicker. Yeah,
he could have fallen down the bus steps for all.
Could be anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you have to have a kicker though if you're going to go a long way into. Unless your team wins every game 45-0, but that doesn't happen too often. And so get yourself a kicker. Ricky Woolrich threw 3 touchdown passes. And Gino Perry ran for 4 as Louisville came back with a 51-38 win. That's why I say come back, because Louisville was a small school, had a tremendous year last year. Somebody said they've had some players still coming through. Well, I know they have offense, George.
Yeah, defense optional, 89 points. But we've talked about this on all of our shows. The old days of winning 6-0, they're gone.
Yeah, it's college scores are in the 30s. Pros, they're in the 30s. College sometimes in the 40s, and in high school definitely there's no 6-0 games. No huddle, spread, changed everything about that. Keegan White scored 4 touchdowns to prove our point as Jackson Milton defeated Matthews 24-6, and we finally had a little defense. Yeah. Here it is, Holland Tigers. We'll write this, we'll circle it. Dave Hanzu went to the end zone 3 times, but more importantly, the defense pitched a shutout in a 28-0 victory over Niles. Congratulations to Howland trying to get it done both ways. We just talked about 30 seconds ago. Most games are high-scoring games these days. State championship games are 31-30 all the time now. We'll see how long this Howland defense can carry them on.
Well, let's talk about the beginning of the school year and the sports year. You have friends that are principals, administrators, counselors. They've even told you they love when the fall starts strong with the football, whether it's cross-country, golf, whatever you're playing. It seems to shine a light on the school, and when it goes well in the beginning, it makes the year better.
Well, one of the, I'm not afraid to use words they don't use on other shows. Stupidest thing I hear is when a principal says, I'm just going to worry about academics.
That's fine.
No. We know how important academics is. But when you have good teams, and the spirit is high in the school, and the teachers are coming with a pep, they go together. They somehow go together, not always, but somehow go together, that you can have good academics and you can have good athletics.
We've talked it. How many times I was asked in an interview, generally they're interviewing you 7, 8 people or whatever, and you would always get that question about athletics and academics, especially in high school.
Right.
College, Georgia, they
don't care.
They just win, baby. But in high school, and I would say, I don't understand why people think they have to be exclusive.
They're not.
Why can't they? And I'll tell you, in college, the local schools, whether it's YSU, Westminster, Grove City, football's the front porch. It's the first thing kids say, and they want to come there when the teams are successful. And the administrators will tell you, I call them bow ties because I don't always get along with them, but I think there isn't a one that would tell you that the football season and the fall sports really shove it off on a good start or not.
Right, and add on to that, George, what you said, in the Division III schools that are really prevalent across the border, Hiram is now joined in Ohio. They need to fill up their beds, and there's no better way to fill up the beds in Division III. No scholarships. So if your parent says they got a full scholarship to Westminster,
for athletics.
Stop it.
No.
Academics, they can get
Academic.
it. But they fill up the. So that's why they start lacrosse. That's why they start new sports, George.
Yes, I heard they're down considerably. Grove
It's
City,
expensive.
Grove City, Westminster, Geneva. Oh, the cost. Anyone that wouldn't go to a trade school hasn't looked ahead 10 years.
Right.
You know, in the old days, they kind of made fun if you didn't go to college. Now, when you call a plumber and he says Wednesday, you realize there's money to be made other places.
Yeah, my two daughters both went to college. One went to community college the first 2 years. The other one went to out-of-state school. We just got done. She's 41, and we just got done out paying her
There you go.
loan off for West Virginia, where my daughter had 2 years almost of free
Yeah.
going to community school.
Albert,
So there's nothing wrong unless you're a great athlete, want to go, but you're getting a scholarship anyway.
And
Yes.
I don't know how many kids I told that. I taught a lot of seniors, and in my econ class, and they would ask me different things. I said, listen, do you want to, this was back in the day
Right.
now, I said, do you want to start with 40,000 in your pocket?
Right.
Or owing 40,000? Now today it's more like 60.
It is. Oh yeah, 60
I mean,
is cheap
they're
these
getting
days,
60 for 1 year.
Yeah,
these
exactly.
days.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the big boys. This is what everybody's interested
Go Bucks.
in. Yes, sir, baby. Hey, I'll
Well,
tell you-
now you want him cut. I didn't. You don't want him cut
I want him
yesterday.
back. I want him back. Yeah, I want him back. I was looking at his split since July.
He's done good.
I didn't notice.
I did know, but I didn't tell you.
Yeah,
I knew the whole
before
time.
July, he was a
Taylor,
bum.
they cut the right one.
Yeah, finally.
I mean, he really can't hit.
He can't.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, when you can't hit, you can't hit.
Right.
I don't know that you could sit him with Ted Williams. He can't hit.
No.
Remember how many kids we caught shooting in it? We had some great ones, but we also had some. They shot well before we. Now we may have had it. We fine-tuned it.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you can't shoot.
You can't shoot.
Can't shoot. All right, let's talk about these tight races. They're playing as we speak.
Kansas City got him.
I thought they were up 1 run in the ninth.
Kansas City got him.
And guess who hit the homer to break the
he's
tie?
the best. He's the
Yeah.
best. I say, well, Judge is having the greatest year of all time.
Yeah.
So I can never talk about Judge. But Witt, overall player, in the infield, you don't get infielders that do what he's doing. You get outfielders.
We talked
not
about him
infielders.
before. We have talked about him. I told you my favorite thing about him. How fast he runs
know,
around the
you said
bases
that.
when he hits a homer. All right, let's talk about it. That's the first one, and there you go. It's down to 2 games.
Yeah, how about that league?
3 of them.
We don't know who's winning it.
I don't know.
The poor Guardians have been dominant all year.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, here comes Minnesota and Kansas City, yes.
Oh, I looked at the schedules. I know who has the easiest
Who does,
schedule.
George?
Minnesota.
Do they?
By
Okay.
a mile.
Thanks for looking. That's
by
good.
a mile. The
Okay.
Guardians play Kansas City, so they play each other.
Gotcha.
Pittsburgh's in there too with the Guardians.
I know I'm going to the game.
There
This
you go.
Friday. I'm
There
going
you
this
go.
Friday.
I'd like to trade them Classe even up. Would you? Could we get our 76?
Dominant.
77
Dominant,
round?
yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Baltimore and the Yankees. Was that going to go to the end?
All the way to the end.
Last day, maybe last 2?
Yeah. And I don't know their schedule either, so I'm interested to see how they finish up, how
I know
close
one
they finish
thing.
up to each
Pittsburgh
other.
ends up in Yankee Stadium. That doesn't exactly make me happy.
Better be over 76
ahead.
by then.
Yeah, they better be 4 ahead. Now, here's the one. I remember sitting here with you like it was yesterday. They traded their best pitcher a week before the season or so. I said, well, I guess Milwaukee's, starting over, so to
Right.
speak. Starting over. How about a 10-game lead?
Yeah, career years from a lot of young kids, and the league's really weak.
It is a bad
Oh,
league.
my gosh, really
is-
weak league.
it is a bad
Yeah.
league.
Cincinnati's worse than Pittsburgh. That's all you got to know. I mean, and Pittsburgh's bad.
4/5 and a 4th, Pittsburgh.
Uh-huh.
I need to know another job.
I said it on the radio
Where they
show.
bring you back.
There's a reason why they won't fire him, and I wouldn't fire him either.
No,
because
they're not.
they're 29th every year
Yeah.
in salary. And so that'd be like us having the job right here,
Yeah.
and we don't have a camera.
Yeah,
And we
it's pretty hard, man.
It's pretty hard to have a great show
Yeah.
without a camera.
Last 10, Cleveland 4-6. That's not going to do it.
Not the way Kansas City and,
No.
and Minnesota are playing.
Pittsburgh 6-4. But what killed
Finally, they went over
Al and I were
500.
talking
They
the
went over
other-
500.
Yeah, we were talking the other day. Had they gone 3-7, be sweet music.
And they'd be in the race.
Yeah,
Oh, they'd be in the race. Yeah.
32 left.
32
You have to play them all to win. Or at what point do you not worry if the guy pitched yesterday? Like your bull. Give me an idea. In other words, does the game
No, they don't.
overshadow?
No.
It's not going to happen.
Zero times.
How about first place?
The Yankees sat down 4 pitchers yesterday.
Okay.
And they need every game.
No, they're thin to start with too.
The Dodgers sat down 4 pitchers yesterday.
Dodgers.
And they put a left-hander reliever who had his first save of the year.
Yeah.
No, George, we think every game means everything.
It doesn't to
They-
them.
not
They
to
don't wanna
them.
wear 'em
Not
out.
to them.
Is that coming from above?
It has to be. Because I know the manager has to want to win every game.
Billy Martin. I know Billy Martin. He'd be
He'd
fired.
ignore him, wouldn't he?
No, he'd
No,
punch
he'd been gone a long
He'd
time
have
ago.
punched him in
He'd been
half.
a long time.
Okay,
yeah.
let's talk about Judge. They call it raking. The young kids call
He's
it
true
raking.
raker. He's a true raker.
50 and 51 on Sunday. I don't know what to say. There's a month and a week left, and the guy's going to have 60 again.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, he's going to have
Yeah,
60.
only one we won't is, and I don't know how stupid they can be, but Stanton's starting to hit now, but by the way.
Can't
I'd
walk
walk
them all.
him. Yeah,
But
I'd
I
walk
would
him.
walk 'em, no.
Yeah, I'd walk him. I'd
Here,
walk
look,
him.
here. Like
I'd
that.
walk him, yeah.
4 fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, I put you onto that Maddox thing. It's the best thing I've ever
Yeah,
watched.
where's it at? Where's it at?
MLB. It's on MLB channel.
Just a regular MLB channel?
Yeah.
Not a special MLB?
No.
Oh.
But let me tell
I
you
want to
about
see it.
No.
I saw some of the highlights.
No. You get just him talking about not being able to throw it hard, but throw it where he wants to. And there's a great story in there. You'll love this one. Guy's up, 2 on, first base open. Cox sends, remember Leo Mazzoni used to rock?
Uh-huh.
He says, Leo, go tell him to walk him. He gets out there. Maddox says, I'm not going to walk him. He said, I'm going to pop him up to third. He said, I'm going to throw him 2 inside, then I'm going to pop him up to third. He can hear Bobby in the dugout using every
Right, he's a swearer.
every
No, yes.
word, every
Yeah.
derivative of the F-bomb that he can
No
use.
question.
Noun, pronoun, adjective.
Yeah, that's him.
So, Maddox, 2 pitches, pop out the chipper. Walking in, he says something like, I told you or whatever.
Right.
But that's kind of control he had.
Yeah.
And you're going to love this show because they have he and Bonds each holding a little, whatever, the things that the quarterbacks use when they come off, those handheld things, I don't know what the modern term is. But they're
iPads.
going, yeah, iPad. They're going over each pitch. Bonds says, "No, what he's doing here, he's tying me up." He said, "When he has nothing you can do with that pitch." And Maddox is looking. He goes, "Yeah." He said, "That's a strike to any one of 100 guys, but not to Barry." You know, and it was just fabulous. They were talking because he got sent down twice.
Yes.
And there's a story there. Listen to this. He gets sent down, so they bring him up, and they said, "You either win today or you're going back down."
Wow.
No, it gets better. The other team hits Andre Dawson in the face. 4th inning.
Next guy, huh?
Okay, he says, the guy come over and they said, get 3 outs and then hit the next guy. So he needed the win to stay up.
Right.
Hit the guy first pitch.
Good job,
He
Greg.
said, my respect of my teammates is way more
Thumbs up.
important.
That's a great show to watch then, for sure.
And the hour and a half goes like this.
Yes.
It's like an hour, 10 minutes. All right, now, Ohtani's going to finish 50-50. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Well, the stolen base is why. And there's been sluggers, a lot of
Nobody
as
steals.
they've blown
Well, nobody.
Not too often.
And in today's world, they don't steal anyway.
That's why Mays was so great. You understand?
Yeah,
So you do both.
And
Yeah.
I think he could have done it anytime. Is Scooble the winner in the American League?
He's a favorite because he's. But for a bad team, it's hard to give It's hard to give.
Remember
it to
the year
I know who
Carl-
should get it, by the way. Clase should get it.
Okay.
But they'll never give it to a reliever.
How about, I remember that year, the Carlton won all but about 18 games.
For Philadelphia,
Philly
yeah.
was so lousy. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
White Sox, they're setting a record too.
Are they going to break the Mets record or not?
Yeah, they're right on it.
Okay.
100 losses, the second fastest ever. The Mets are the record, but don't forget the Mets were expansion.
Yes.
They grabbed a guy here, a guy there. Give me this.
All old timers. They had an old timer team.
Yeah, Gil Hodges.
Yep.
No, you're right. So I just don't know. What would you do with the White Sox? Would you just start over, blow it up completely?
No, that's the problem. coming into the season, there were people
I know,
picked
but
them
what
to
would
win
you
it.
do now?
Oh, I'd stay right with it because they got a lot of young players that I'd stay with, like
Robert.
the pitchers and Robertson.
Okay.
Yeah, they got some guys still can play.
so you're
I just think they got so buried with their pitching. See, it's not their hitters; it's their pitching.
Down
They're
5-0
so weak.
before you
Yeah.
bat.
There's no hope.
There's
hope.
nothing. Remember, I watched it. So, is there anything worse than being behind before you come to bat?
That's the White Sox.
And it used to be no more. Keller used to drive
that's
me
the White
crazy
Sox.
because I knew he was good. He's pitching tonight, by the way. NCAA football, week 0 is over. I didn't learn much, but I learned the large favorites didn't cover. That was just week 1.
That first week.
But you get Ohio State against Akron, I don't think it matters.
But the line is outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
50 and a half. I mean,
know.
it's outrageous.
Did you see a Y line the other night with
outrageous.
Delaware State?
It wasn't 50 and a half, though. Not 50. It was like 40.
Yeah.
I mean, but 40 is different than 50.
Yeah.
50 points in a game.
And the over-under was only 54, so they figured 47-7. It's incredible when you think of it. Now, FSU, I'm so tired. I don't want to hear anything about them anymore. They're done. And that coach must be one of those old-school Joe Moore guys. Did you hear him? Run the ball.
The Georgia Tech guy. Here's the story behind the Forest. My brother and I talked today, and somehow, because he got rated in high school, the ukulele guy is so overrated.
Oh, my.
No.
He
can't get away from it. He can't. Usually, athletic black quarterbacks
can run
like crazy.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
He
they're
can't
talking
run.
about Jackson in the pros.
Yeah.
Fields. You know, he can't run. So, and he's not a great thrower. So, where did somebody think that he was going to be?
He got into one of those QB 37.
He had to. Yes.
And
top 11s or whatever.
All that nonsense.
And he didn't do anything good at Clemson.
Nothing.
Didn't anything good at Oregon State.
Nothing.
And Florida State already lost the game. What did he throw? Every pass was under 2 yards.
1.5 yards.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing to say. That's like this hour. Throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
No, you throw it down the field.
If they're incomplete, you still got to back them up. You have to back up the defense somewhat.
Please.
Yes.
Please back them up. Please. Thank you. I would love to see that. That Montana win. You know there's a classic. You and I
feel so bad for New Mexico.
It's like they were waiting.
They weren't supposed to win.
The shoe was coming. You know how they read 21, and you could look and you could see.
How did they lose? You see any of it?
I watched it every second. No, guy's missing a slant pass.
I'll
give you one for example.
Okay.
Guy with a slant pass in his hands that would have run another 2 minutes off the clock.
That's all they needed.
Dropped it.
Yeah. That's how they
were
lose
down
games.
21.
That's how they lose.
Yeah.
I know.
And the other team, because they win all the time.
And they're 1 AA. Still they believe they were going to win.
I will say this, though. If I knew this stat, I wouldn't have jumped. They hadn't beaten a
New Mexico,
BS team since
Montana State doesn't do that.
No.
Okay.
I mean, they're good, but they don't beat the big boys. Another. And this is about as bad a big boy as you can
Yes.
have. So that's what happened there. All right. Week 1. Thursday night it starts. Good game Thursday night. Minnesota, North Carolina. That's a 2-point game. But Saturday, Florida, Miami. One of them probably won't be the coach next year. You would agree to that?
No doubt.
Notre Dame, A&M.
Nobody knows for sure there.
I know one thing. When that dude was at Duke, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. He came back to A&M where
He's
he
a defensive
coordinator
guy.
the whole time.
Now remember, he coached the Notre Dame quarterback. That should be interesting in itself. Who would have the advantage there? Him knowing his weaknesses, or the other guy knowing? Or
I don't think kid has any weaknesses.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback.
You know what I told you what I like about him. What he
Goes
does
forward,
when
you said.
He dives forward. He doesn't put his feet out, so it's where he lands, not where he
Well,
starts.
in the recruiting battles, that's all you find out. A&M's been one of the top recruiting classes last 3 or 4 years.
Well, you know why.
On players on the field.
Yeah.
I'm talking players on the
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
They'll have better players than Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But they have not won.
No.
Be interesting how that
And
just was
thank
happening.
God the quarterback, Notre Dame, has the edge, which if you're a Notre Dame fan, you'll. Now here's one they're giving a little more juice to because people are realizing. Last year at State College, same 2 teams, 21.5. This week at Morgantown, 8. Have they overcompensated?
No, that's about where it should be.
Okay.
I would think somewhere between 8 and 10. I thought it was going to be.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. All right, here's one I'm interested in. Clemson, Georgia. Is there a chance for Dabo?
You don't have to go their way. You know, if
Every
they make,
little-
little things have to go their way. But there's definitely a chance. I mean, you know, Georgia's that good; they can win 31-0. So I'm not taking that from them. But they're not playing this for the poor. Clemson has a nice team.
No,
Yeah.
that quarterback another year. You know, I heard their stats. You know how Phil Steele always does a team that
What's Clemson?
murders the other team but doesn't win
Clemson.
the game.
The
That's
red zone.
them.
And they've been working on it. They said that's their number one thing they've worked on,
Okay.
but still working on it
And
against
playing as Georgia.
playing Georgia
Yeah, we're
defense.
playing our subs.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's it.
Put this.
But they have put big time into that they're first and goal with
Well,
the 10,
I'll have 'em.
and they could not
Hey,
score.
I'll have them.
They couldn't
Saturday
score.
night, I'll be on them. I can tell you that. Now, what's coming up? Heisman could go. Generally, I was reading the other day, the big favorite doesn't win the Heisman. Do you have a sleeper?
The big favorite doesn't win.
No. He gets close, but he
Wow.
doesn't win.
Now,
Last
I
few
would have
years-
taken an Oregon quarterback. That's what I would have taken.
Okay, well,
I would
he's-
take Gabriel, but he
I
has
like
to go on the
Gabe.
favorites.
I like Gabe. He's second favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. Georgia quarterback. How about
He's playing
that?
on Georgia.
Imagine Georgia has some players.
Yeah.
You think they might have it. All right, what's new? 12-team playoff. 4 buys. 12-5, 11-7, 10-6. Just like that, 8-7.
Well, you already know that it's not going to be everybody thinks it is, because everybody had Florida State in,
Oh,
and they already lost the first game.
And
So it
you
all-
said the other day you only think ACC's getting one anyway.
I said it all along.
You did. And it's not them, I can tell you that.
And I don't think it'll be Georgia Tech. That's what I'm saying.
No. So there is more.
But Saban, I give Saban credit. They asked Nick Saban on the show Saturday morning. They all picked their sleeper teams.
Okay.
And he said, we're going to watch the one. It's my sleeper.
Georgia Tech.
Yes.
mean,
Before the game. See, anybody can say it now.
Yeah.
I'm talking before the game. He said they run the football and they play good defense.
I put on Twitter, I said, if Joe Moore happened to be peeking down, he was smiling.
I like that guy.
Because they were moving him. What did he say? There's no better feeling in the world than taking someone and putting them somewhere they don't want to go.
Yeah.
That's that Georgia Tech guy. He looks like he's oldest.
But that was interesting.
School.
Saban picked them to be sleeper. That was interesting.
Make room for Notre Dame. They're going to be involved somewhere. We agree, right?
Well, if they win this one, they're in.
Yeah.
Because their schedule tells you they're in.
Yeah, I worried
they're-
about Florida State at home before. Now I'm not as worried. And Louisville at home, but they go to.
Well, there's some
Southern
couple games, but I'm talking about they
Cal-
beat
I know.
A&M.
Yeah,
They're-
you got
they're
both
going-
service
they're-
academies
yeah.
on a new.
They're
team.
going in.
They should be.
Yeah.
We know Ohio State's loaded. Is it a Noah's Ark thing
But
too
they have
of
to.
everything?
But they have to win it.
No, they have to win it.
No, see, there's a difference. If they're 10-2 and go and
Yeah.
he's fired.
If you lose
No,
to
he's
Michigan.
10-2. He's fired.
Hey, listen to Michigan. You know they could play back-to-back weeks with this new system, no East-West.
Right.
Remember
Are they
could-
still last game?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they could play back. I mean, it won't.
I'm glad they did that. All the changes. You want to try to keep those
They should have
gigantic
kept
games.
Penn
You know.
State, Michigan too, though. That was a big
I know.
but they didn't. So anyhow, now who you looking at other than Ohio State, Oregon? Well, guess what? They play each other, so they both can't win.
Right.
One of them's going to win. Al likes Oregon. I remember when they came to Columbus.
I don't like it as much this time. Though.
Not as much this time.
When I loved Oregon's team then.
Okay.
I'm going to watch Oregon a little bit right now.
Me too.
Because they don't stop anybody.
Because they said
I want to see what they do
they're
defensively.
saying they're better. So we'll see.
Defensively?
And I know
Okay.
they have a good runner, good receiver, and a great quarterback.
Oh, I know they got that.
Did you see what they did yesterday? They bought them all those things that go in your ear. I don't know what buds
That's
or
the
whatever.
thing, yeah.
Must have bought 150. I mean, those guys.
That money means nothing, Oregon.
How about Dion?
Or Ohio State.
Dion caught a bank. They all put $2,500 in every player's bank that has a kid for their kid.
I read that.
That's pretty interesting. A lot of noise from Colorado. A lot of bark, no bite. Let's see some bite.
Yep.
Better watch the bison, huh? Should they watch the? Hey, what's it?
but they're getting them at the right
Bison?
time, though.
Now, early. They won't
No,
take it
they're not
for
as
granted.
good.
No,
No, they're not
and
as good.
he's going to
That's
throw
why.
the ball.
They're
too.
not as good. See,
And-
sometimes those teams come in with 20 return
No, they have
lettermen.
5
They're not the same team.
NFL linemen.
They're not the same team.
Not talking to reporters. That's Bush League.
Only
old
one
school.
though. Just one reporter. He's done everybody
Yeah, but
else.
it's in his.
I know, but I'm saying that's interesting that he just one guy. He said, "I'm not talking to you."
Yeah, it's not good. If you want to sit and tell him how good he is, he'll sit for a
Yeah,
day.
that's right.
NFL 3 preseason games. Here's what they mean preseason. Look,
We've been telling you that.
squad dooch.
We've been telling you that.
Squad
I
dooch.
did see an interesting stat though, George. If you want to go by stats, 4 teams have outscored somebody in exhibition by 60 points or more,
Okay.
and went 4-0.
Minnesota
All
gotta
of
be
them played in the Super Bowl, and that's what the Bears did in the preseason.
Oh, I got you.
Okay, they've all been playoff teams.
I plugged in.
So when they kill somebody in the
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
okay.
You know who moved the ball at will that surprised me? The Vikings. Who's quarterback?
Arnold,
Yeah, okay.
he's a pro.
But I mean, they're moving that ball.
It's all offensive line play. You know that.
Yeah. Okay. Who would or wouldn't? Most teams played a few series. They're certainly not honing their skills playing 7 series in 3 games.
Yeah, they don't do it. But they have it figured out though. and if you listen to Georgia, so again, I'll give Georgia a plug again. Their work is done on
Wednesday, Thursday.
yes against the same team.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you want to see something real live and real caring,
Go then.
don't look at the game.
Right.
But their first teams are going to be the first team on Wednesday and Thursday.
Players make
Yeah.
so much money they can't. That's the short version. They
There's no
can't
tackling in
afford-
those things.
No.
But it's live.
No. Game 18 is coming soon.
For sure.
The day of
Money.
no preseason games,
Money.
like college, that's coming too.
Yeah, mhm.
That's down the road. No practice game. Now, we have a buddy, it's NFL agent.
This guy's making it, by the way, or not, you know?
No, tomorrow. I
Okay.
haven't seen him this nervous since I've known him, 15 years.
Because I saw
at
all the
least.
cuts today. That's why I
Yeah.
wondered
Oh,
if
sure.
his guy got
Oh,
cut.
He's got those guys on the edge.
Mostly
too.
linemen, too.
Yeah,
Mostly
big
linemen.
line. I watched the guy play the other night for Las Vegas Raiders. He was okay. I mean, you know,
Okay.
what I could see. You understand? A lot of teams will scour the wire. So they said the Steelers are going to get 2 corners.
They'll have to.
That's something.
You have to. But see, there's a lot of good ones out there.
Okay.
You understand? That's the position.
Okay, so they can find
They can
someone.
find,
Can
yes.
you teach them the
Well, I
defense?
feel like Bradford's gonna leave
Because they're going to
Philadelphia.
take Thursday off.
There's no teaching anything. There's corners play man to
They're
man out
taking
there.
Thursday off, and they'll have the weekend.
Yes.
So there's no. You know, I think is really messed up, and they have to find out what they have. The Browns with Watson. I can't tell you right now. I know Chubb's
It's so
out
confusing.
for 5 weeks.
It's so confusing.
They gave him a mother load.
I don't know
Has he
what to
played?
do. I don't know what to do with him.
Has he played?
But he hasn't played good.
Okay,
See, if he had played, when he played, he didn't play good.
Nope.
You know, so he's a confusing guy.
Nope.
Yeah.
Brady's debut is 2 Sundays at 4 o'clock at Cleveland. You local people, you can give him a critique. Little League World Series, Florida wins. Anytime they beat Taipei or Japan or something, it's a big deal.
Yeah, Florida scored bottom of the 6th to run.
Did you see how?
And they haven't scored many.
See how they scored?
I know they had a check swing. And
Ghost runner bunt.
No, that was extra innings. No, they were.
Yeah.
No, they
Oh,
were.
yeah,
they
just
were
to
no.
get it there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
I'm
you.
talking about.
Yeah.
I want to know how they scored
A kid who hadn't been hit and flared one bottom of the
that
sixth.
had to be a flare because
Yeah.
Taipei had given up nothing.
Nothing.
You know,
Nothing. And
Yeah.
then in the
Gotta
ghost
watch that.
runner,
Yeah.
the pitcher picked it up and threw it.
second baseman forgot to cover first.
No, the umpire's the only guy standing.
Yep.
That game was
What
over.
a shame.
Yeah, you lose, you
Yeah.
lose.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes the fundamentals at Williamsport are pretty dang impressive.
Yeah, they are.
We got a couple minutes.
That's because they
here.
practice.
Yeah, imagine that. And they don't play cards in there?
They
Or
practice.
They don't play dominoes?
Yeah, they practice.
2 minutes. Miscellaneous. I watched some WNB highlights. I finally found the problem. Well, there are many in that league, but there's one major one. Officials
Making
are-
layups?
Officials are no good.
Oh, okay.
No, they don't know how to ref a superstar.
Gotcha.
You try doing that stuff to
So
Steph.
they let them go into NBA.
They just
and they
let
don't let them go into WNBA. you're saying.
Never.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
because when you come to see when you come to see Caitlin Clark play,
she got 3
she better be
fouls.
on the foul.
She got a technical for hitting the bank.
She better be on the field.
Hey, she hit the pad.
They
No,
call
I don't
that-
like people hitting the pad.
They call it technical foul.
Technical
now.
foul.
Oh.
And see, at 5, you sit. So that's just,
Okay.
it's Bush League. Pirates put Bonds and Leland in their hall. I just heard too much bad to forget. Like, I can't pat Bonds on the back.
I got you.
I can't. I'm sorry.
I got you.
It's kind of like going to a funeral where everything's forgotten.
Yeah.
Everyone says, oh, what a great guy he
Right.
was, and he wasn't. And all that nonsense. We still say Richie Allen, Dave Parker belong in the hall.
I know Allen does. I'm not going to say Parker for sure, but Allen gets over for sure.
And
Allen's
Murtaugh,
numbers are
too.
unbelievable.
Two
Yeah.
World
If you got
Series.
Leland in there, then Murtaugh should be in there.
You son of a
He's won 2 World Series.
Hey, ESPN fired 2 analysts last week, $1 million each. The best common denominator is they both spoke out about men playing women's sports.
I want to be fired.
I'd want to be
I
fired.
want to be fired.
That's what it is.
I'll speak up here at Armstrong.
Exactly.
Men should be playing men.
Yeah.
Women should be playing women.
Yeah, how,
oh my
how hard
gosh.
is that, really? Both spoke out and both are
Gone.
presently gone.
Yes.
And they said more firings on Monday, and it's going to be bosses. It's not
They
going
must
to
be
be
losing money. They must be losing
I think
money.
the old bundling thing, and this is
They must be
another
losing
caught
money,
up. So,
yeah.
Hey, thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. We'll see you next week.